Hello, everybody. Welcome to my very wonderful channel, Billionaire number one, billionaire of all time, the biggest successes that has ever been on the planet. For very first, I want you to understand something. It requires a change, and the biggest change here, very biggest change you can do right now is to subscribe to my channel and ask me whatever you want to ask me. That is very, very crucial if you want to make a drastic change in your life. Subscribe to my channel, and here we are. Well, basically, I started to change my life completely from the scratch. It means so I clean up my apartment every single day. Every single day, I do 8 times a day sport, for example. I do 8 times a day sport, for example. Additionally, I do something else. I read a lot of books. I'm gonna tell you something why you are not in this situation, into that sort of situation that you cannot consider yourself as a billionaire. I'm gonna tell you why. The reason is it's a very, very simple fact. The fact is you are uneducated when it comes to financial issues, to financial things. For example, you do not understand the value of money. You think if you have expensive clothes on your body, you project the image of wealth, but in reality, you are broke. It means you gave a lot of value away, your financial stake, excuse me. Now, I want you to witness my journey to become the biggest success that has ever been on the planet. The biggest success that has ever been on the planet. You cannot live in a mess up apartment, for example. You cannot talk the way these crowded people talk. Watch that image, for example, that picture, so you gotta become an eccentric, whether it is financially, whether it's from the point of view of of that sort of education level. You gotta become a purely eccentric. Nobody, whether it's your family, your mother, your father, your girlfriend, boyfriend, your neighbor, nobody is going to guide you to success. Excuse me. Only you as an individual are able to open the door to greatness. I need to admit, it is a journey. It is very tough. I do 8 times a day sport. Yes, you hear me well. I do. Me, myself, I do 8 times a day sport. Not 2 times a day, not 3 times a day. I said 8 times a day I do my sport. 8 times a day. It means in general, what does it mean? I go for a run 8 times a day. Every single day, 300 at least. Sometimes I'm ill, so let's say at least 365 days a year I do sport. At least 365 days a year. It means sometimes I do sport twice a day. It means 16 times a day. Yes, you hear me well. It is very important. You cannot sit lazy in front of a TV, and have a messed up apartment. You gotta educate yourself. You gotta read books. You gotta study. What is the nature? What is the nature? What is the main angle of a billionaire when it comes to that sort of financial greatness? So it requires toughness, it requires education, and it requires that you change your life completely from the scratch. If you do not change your life completely from the scratch, you're gonna stay exactly where the majority of people belong to. It means watch that picture. You're never gonna have a private jet. You're never gonna drive a Ferrari. You're never gonna have, whatever you wanna have. For example, if you're into that sort of game, pin-up girls, Russian pin-up girls, you're never gonna get that, for example, so it's your choice. I'm not into that sort of game to have a Russian pin-up girl, whatever. But in general, you are the master of your life. You are the master of your life. You are in charge of your life. It's not your neighbor. It's not your father. It's not your best friend. It's not your former teacher. It's only you yourself. Only you yourself are in charge to clean up your apartment, for example. It's not your neighbor who's in charge to clean up your apartment. It's not your mother who's in charge to clean up your apartment. It's not your, I don't know, whoever, it's only you yourself. Additionally, it means, in general, we take that idea as a very, very guide example. You are in charge of your financial destiny. The man in the mirror. It starts with the man in the mirror. I want you to go to the mirror and watch yourself. It's you. Only you yourself are able to make that sort of big time change. Not the neighbor, not your father, not your mother, not your, I don't know, girlfriend, boyfriend, or husband, I don't know, wife, sir. Only you yourself are able to open the door to financial greatness. You gotta read at least 50 pages a day. I myself read 100 pages every single day. Every single day. You feeling me? Well, everybody, thank you very much for tuning in. I'm out.